Manchester United 3, 2 goals to the opponents tonight. Omonia Nicosia, who they gave Manchester United a tough time in that first half. United couldn't score. They went in at the halftime break 1-0. We have got a few players who've got to, I don't want to use the word lay into because social media has become a little bit flimsy of late when criticizing players, but some terrible performances in the first half. Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial coming on to save United's blushes, save Manchester United's embarrassments in that second half with good performances from them. Ronaldo still not able to score, but Man United walking away with the 3 points. But were they able to flush that terrible defeat to Man City out of their systems? I'm not too sure. We want your views, we want your thoughts, we want your opinions on the fan highlights and reaction show. Let's go.
Absolutely magnificent.
Welcome back to the show, people. A tough night. Omonia, listen, I am not trying to criticize the Cypriot league. I don't know how good it is. Man United at halftime was staring down the barrel of arguably one of the biggest and most embarrassing defeats in the history of Manchester United. In the history. They had to come out second half and improve. Taking off Jadon Sancho, taking off Malacia, absolutely imperative. Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial turning the tide so much for Man United tonight. No doubt about it at all. Especially, Marcus Rashford came on 2 goals and an assist. His assist was absolutely majestic. And Man United delivered the 3 points. They came back. Still conceded that second goal towards the end, which I personally think is going to take kind of the icing off the top of the cake, really. A nice 3-1 comeback. You can turn around and say, okay, if we'd have been 3-0 up and conceded a consolation goal, you may not have been so frustrated. But there's still a lot to discuss, really, with Man United because there's a frownness in this team still, without a doubt. And there's a handful of players who, whether they started well or playing well a few games ago, we maybe need to look at them. Malacia, 2 games running, pulled off at halftime. Had a very good start to his Man United career. And I think it's about time he spent a bit of time on the bench. And that isn't changing my tune. I think that for £13 million, he could go on to be a brilliant player, but he's young. He's learning his trade. He's understanding how the Premier League and this level of football works. And he's looked a little bit vulnerable in the last 2 games. And I really want to see the manager take him out the firing line, give Shaw an opportunity to impress, promote meritocracy by saying 2 bad games running, Shaw coming on twice and doing well. Here's a start for Shaw. You need to promote that. You've also got Jadon Sancho. And I've got to say about Jadon Sancho, I'm so annoyed with him. There was me on social media only a few short weeks ago complaining that he should have been in the England squad. And I meant it then. I meant it at that moment in time. The little turnaround Man United had, the performances he had put in, I thought, scoring goals, influencing games, running up players. I was impressed by him. I was really impressed by him. But the last 2 matches, he's really frustrated me, almost like, well, I'm going to believe my own hype. Everyone thinks I should be in the England team. I'm performing how I should be for Man United. I'm going to rest on my laurels somewhat. His decision to pass the ball to Malacia was poor. Malacia losing it was even worse. But there's something in this game that stood out to me massively. And as the ball was played through, for them to take their opening goal, my question is, where on God's green earth, where the hell is Sancho? Where is he? And I'm pausing because I'm flabbergasted. Where is he? Jadon Sancho has absolutely zero right at all, period, point blank, to not be running back. Do you know what? If you're a player at Man United that's won us Premier League titles and Champions Leagues, you've won a Ballon d'Or while you were here, I wouldn't accept it, but at least you got a bit of credit in the bank. This guy's had a good month, and he's doing that. Get the hell out of here. Absolutely 110% unacceptable. Malacia was trying but playing badly. Drop him, give someone an opportunity, let him learn. Jadon Sancho should be dropped for the Everton game on Sunday out of pure and utter He should be dropped, sorry, out of for insubordination, for laziness. He should be dropped as a matter of fact. What I was actually looking for is a matter of principle, and I lost my train of thought. Should be a principle dropping. You do not lose the ball or are involved in the losing of the ball and don't track back. And that's one of my bugbears. A lot of United players tonight were sloppy on the ball. I thought Eriksen had a poor night on the ball. Thought Bruno had another poor performance. And for me, I'm going into this game against Everton. I think Bruno should be dropped as well at this point. I'm not singling out just Jadon Sancho. Bruno should also be dropped, in my opinion, now. The same as McTominay. Let's give Casemiro 2 back-to-back starts. Let's get him used to the Premier League and the way we play. But Jadon Sancho shouldn't be touching the pitch for Man United. And unless we need someone to turn the game around, he shouldn't even be coming on. If Man United were in a better position, I would even say don't put him in the squad. We have to promote discipline, 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 without a doubt. I'm also looking at Antony today. He had a good shot saved. In the second half, he tried to be a bit more direct. But why are you passing the ball here? Why are you passing the ball, bruv? Imagine being in this position. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. World Cup 2018. Everybody cried that Harry Kane didn't pass the ball to Raheem Sterling. I've always defended Kane. No, I want my attackers taking responsibility in that position and shooting. It was a shooting opportunity. It was only after the fact we all said, oh, I should have squared it. In real time, everybody went, shoot. Because that's what you should do. And when this moment in the game happened, everybody said, shoot, not pass. And he bottled it. And I want to see more from Antony. £85 million, the expectation is high. He was a little more progressive in the second half, but I want to see more out of him. Now, we also mentioned Ronaldo as well. He actually worked quite hard today. He got himself an assist. His run for Rashford's goal was very, very important. He worked hard. But there is a little bit of Space Jam going on here. There's a bit of Space Jam. Space Jam settings. 110%. He missed this. What's happened to my Ronnie? And do you know what it comes down to, though? Ironically, I'm saying this about Cristiano's mentality. He is snatching at everything because he wants to get back on the goal scoring trail. He wants to perform so badly that it's messing him up. But I just want to say something. Bad performance or not, what Ronaldo did tonight, I'd take 100 times over compared to what Jadon Sancho did. At least Ronaldo was trying. And I can be annoyed at a trier. I can be frustrated with the trier, but I'll always praise the effort. As a fan, if you don't praise effort, I think there's something sort of intrinsically wrong with you as a human being. Effort is very key. You can still criticize the lack of output, but you've got to praise the effort, and it was there. But I'm worried about Ronaldo. But I want to see more from him. I need to see him relax. I want to see Antony be more clinical. I want to see Antony be like he shoots from when he shouldn't and scores a great goal at the weekend. Nearly scores a great goal today. But when he should shoot, he passes. That's a madness to me. Get that out your system. Outputs matter as an attacker. But before I bring on Dizzy and KJ, I do want to say, I am very proud tonight of Rashford and Martial. And I want to say this about the two of them. Because strangely, Rashford and Martial's fans hate one another. They proper don't like each other. There is real stick. They don't like each other at all. And I understand why. I do get it, because Martial kind of made it an either-either thing, and the fans never recovered from it, the fickleness. And we do live in the world of player fans over club fans. But they are best when they're both on the pitch. They are at their best when they both play. The best I see from both of them in terms of play and outputs, it always feels when they're both involved. And Rashford obviously scored before Martial came on. But the back, I know we're playing against, I keep having to say Omonia rather than Ammonia. But this team didn't even have a logo on 3 apps that give you updates. No logo on certain apps, right? I know that. But that back heel was great. The first time finish from Martial, brilliant. And I think we need this season. I'm not talking about the next 5 years, 6 years. We've got to bank on these two. We need to improve, most probably. But this season, when fit, these two have got to be involved. They're the best two we've got. And they have a partnership. They have a connection. They have a relationship, and it's key. And maybe for the Everton game, maybe instead of a number 10 in that hole, maybe you keep Ronaldo up front. Maybe. But maybe you put Martial behind him, Rashford on the left. He looked quite good tonight. Quite liked it. Support striker settings. Maybe that's the way forward. But I do want your thoughts and I want your feelings, people. Make sure like buttons are being smashed as well. Sancho has reached Pepe settings. Fact. I have to say this about him. I'm going to get the boys out in a minute to speak. What annoyed me the most about him tonight was the fact that he's been playing well. And to drop back down to like this level this evening, I find it so frustrating. And when Rashford's and Martial's and Ronaldo's play well over the course of time, maybe not this season specifically, they'll still score you goals and give you assists. When Sancho's bad, he stinks. He proper reeks. I'm talking a combination of morning breath, BO, and coffee. Imagine mixing those three smells together. That's how bad it is. And he's got to step up. He has to. Terry, what is going on with Ronaldo? He's my GOAT, but the team spoon-fed him chances today and he couldn't score. His overall game was good besides that. No, they did. But as I say, like, KJ is going to come in and say something on this. I can tell he's annoyed. They did spoon-feed him. He did miss the chances. And that is frustrating and should be criticized. But if you want to know what's happening to him, he's thinking too much. He's thinking. He's not relaxed. Don't do this. Then I was about to say go and try something, but don't actually do it. Before you go for your next drive, think about crashing your car. And watch how nervous you become when driving. Don't actually do it, but like think about it. Go, oh my God. And then clear your mind again, right? Legitimately, he's overthinking. And he's creating himself an issue. I played golf once and I was doing all right. And then I had a shot and it was near a lake. My dad's like, don't land in the lake. I wasn't even thinking about it. Started thinking about it. Guess where the ball fucking went? In the lake. Mentality. Sport is 85% mentality. 100% of the time, in my view. Someone's like, what the F? No, listen, legitimately. If you think about crashing your car before driving, you become nervous. When you think about things too much, you start to worry, you start to panic, you start to overstretch, overthink. But most days you'll get into your car and just drive and you won't even think about anything other than where you've got to get to. And you often arrive at a destination. Think back. When you arrive at your destination, think back to the journey you took and if you remember any of it. Half the time you don't remember half your journey because you're in cruise control, because you're relaxed, because it's comfortable. Start thinking about everything and you'll panic. Legitimately. I'm not messing about. It's serious. It's a real thing. When you overthink, it causes problems. Overthinking is a disease. And that's what Ronaldo is doing right now. And it can create people to have accidents. It can make you put your shot in golf into the lake. It can make you overthink a meeting. It can make you, listen, cook a steak. You know how long to cook a steak to make it medium rare. If you cook a steak any more than medium rare, you might as well not have a steak because once you go past medium rare, you take all the flavor out of it. But if you start thinking, well, it poisoned me. Is it cooked enough? I'm going to be sick. That thing ends up so well done. It's like chewing an old boot. Stop overthinking and do. I appreciate us trying to play people in, but I think if your one-on-one score, I thought Anthony outside that brain fart played well, and we need to be more aggressive. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I completely do. We do need to be more aggressive in those areas. Dizzy and KJ are here with me now to have their say. KJ's here, Dizzy's here. What are you saying, boys?
Hey.
Flipping hell, man. I was about to come on with a bit of a smile and then we do it foolishness at the back. And the score line just makes it look even worse than if it was 3-1. Like 3-1, you can say comeback. But the fact that it's 3-2 and the 2 goals were foolish mistakes. It's not like if they did some amazing play and I'm like, Ross, Cyprus football is a bit mad. Still, like I could accept that. But it was 2 lapsadaisical, foolish, naive mistakes. And it's like, why do we like to do this to ourselves? Why? Like, why do we like to make these things difficult? And it just shows the mentality is still there from the previous how many different years. Like, it's going to take time for Ten Hag to weed that out. Because you don't go into this game so casually that they get a counterattack like this. Is this Istanbul? Are we in Turkey, bruv? You know what I mean? Like that happening again, it was ridiculous. But 2 players that I absolutely love, 2 players that the fan base wanted gone for whatever reason, linking up to get us back into the game, Rashford and Martial. we love to see those two players like link up. But like, I don't know why the fan base love to like pit them against each other when they're twins, bruv. They're literally brothers in arms. Like their stats in the Premier League basically the same. The stats for United, they're pretty close. You know what I mean? Funny enough, for someone who's really bad, Marcus Rashford is 3 goals away for 100 goals for Man United. I mean, terrible players get 100 goals for the club, right? Like these two players, like if they ever stayed fit and if they're ever focused, those two together can help us do something nice. You know what I'm saying? But overall, it wasn't a good display. Had to bring on the big guns to save us, and I want to talk about Ronaldo, but I don't want to talk about Ronaldo because they won't be upset that I'm talking about Ronaldo in it. So, DZ, I'll let you chat, then we can talk.
A few things. Firstly, Europa League is really United's level. This is where we are comfortably. This is where we deserve to be, and anything more than this is a step too far. We make a challenge of every game that we're in because every game is a challenge. That's exactly what it is. On Ronaldo, it's so sad to see, man. But you know what's crazy? Last season, he had this period in the season where like we was like, yeah, nah, he's done. He's done. There's no way he can do it. He's over with. He needs to sit down. He needs to be gone. But I think today was more encouraging than I've seen him play any other game this season. Any other game, he's been walking around. He's been uninterested. He's been waving his arms about. Today, I actually saw him running, trying to make something happen, trying to get a goal at least. So I sit on the fence because he is the GOAT. So you know.
No. See, here's the thing. Here's what I differ. I understand he's one of the greatest players of all time. That is never going to be disputed. I understand what he's done for our club, Manchester United. I understand what he's done for world football, and many young people in the world growing up with this guy playing football. I understand what he's done. But there's one thing that is even greater than Cristiano Ronaldo, even greater than Messi. It's called time. Mother time don't care who you are.
Right.
When you reach a certain point, the fact that he's prolonged his career so much is phenomenal. And I would always back him, saying, in terms of athletes, in any sport, one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen in any sport, because the fact that he's prolonged his career in football this month and the level that he's played at for that long, amazing. But there is a point where time says, my brother, you need to relax. You know what I mean? You need to wind down. Like Terry would know about in kickboxing. They're pretty sure there came an age where you're like, my foot can't reach as high as it used to. You know what I mean? Like,
just funny. Like, of course, I was never as good a competitor as Ronaldo, even within my own sport. But it was only maybe 5 years ago. I was back at an old gym I used to train at, and I was just training, and I was getting back to good level of fitness. And all these young bucks they wanted me to spar with, and I sparred with one. They gave me the runaround. And I said to my old coach, and I said, listen, bruv, I'm not going to spar with them again. Because these lads remembered me from when I was training. And I said, for me, I find it embarrassing to be in the ring with kids who are like 21, 22 that could beat me now, who they know and I both know that in my pomp and in their, I would have smashed them. And I couldn't handle it. And I think Ronaldo, and that was the issue. Then what I would do when I was sparring, this was just sparring, I was overextending. I was telegraphing. I was trying too hard to show that I was the better fighter. And my thinking, the way my body moved, just wasn't the same. You've seen this, and again in the fighting game, it's more dangerous because you get sparkoed. And I'm just looking at Ronaldo now, and he's trying so hard. And sometimes it's trying to hard. Sometimes it's just like his hips won't open in the same way.
Yeah, there's a chance where he was on the got ball played to him, and he had to turn around to shoot, and it was so languid. And I don't like how the team, you can see the team's kind of like trying to baby him, trying to feed him on purpose. Like Rashford was on a hattie. You're telling me if that was Martial on that side, he's trying to pass it to Martial. Maybe Martial. You know what I mean? But if it was another play, like they understand, like, he's going through it. Like, let's try and help. Like, and I get that. But this is competitive football, my brother. Like, we ain't got no time to be handing me outs. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't want to see Rashford do that against Everton. Like against Everton, like you got to win the game. And that's what was frustrating about their second goal, because when it was 3-1, it was kind of okay. But we should have got the fourth and put it to bed. And we need to, and you know, I'm sure Ronaldo, it's what I was saying to someone the other day, Ronaldo, but this is what's going to happen with Ronaldo this season. He's going to go for a few games where he scores a few goals, and then his fans, but his fanboys We're like, so you said he was past his best. He is. There's no more debating now. He's past his best.
Yeah.
I want to say with Rashford though, 8 games this season, 8 goal contributions. And when I say that's Rashford getting back to his best, that's what Rashford is. Rashford is never going to be what some people wanted him to be, and that's a player who sits on the left wing and is that consistent, dominant dribbler, taking people on, doing this, doing that. But what he is he can be when he's on form and he's in a good space, is clinical. And that's what if we can get his clinical nature back of putting balls in the back of the net, we're in a good space with him. So I'm happy to see him doing that. But I wanted to ask you boys a question. It is a shorter show tonight with the Arsenal game just about to kick off, which we are live after. Do Man United look better? Are Man United better at the moment without Bruno? Because I saw a lot of people tweeting that once he went off the pitch, we looked more comfortable on the ball. Is there an argument to say drop Bruno for, say, Martial and play Martial behind, say, Ronaldo on Sunday against Everton? What we saying, boys?
It's hard because I don't believe there's any consistent replacement. Not to agree with the whole Bruno should be playing every game because it's Bruno. No, I believe he should be dropped as well. But putting Martial in the 10 is fun. Like, I love it. I'll do that on FIFA. You know what I mean? But in real life football,
support striker. This is where I look at it. When you say 10, he's not a 10, but he could play. He can play number 9, but I think he can play the second striker. Like,
I agree with that. But is that consistently a viable option when we've got our defensive deficiencies in midfield still? Like, he would need to work.
I'm going to attack Man United.
Just for the Everton game, not long term.
I'm just saying for the Everton
game. I thought you meant like in a long term kind of scenario. Just for the Everton game, screw it, why not? You know what I mean? Like,
now you know what it is with Bruno. I think he's suffering a lot from what Ronaldo's going through. Like, he's in his head, he's doing too much. He's trying to be the killer instead of just, I don't know, playing his game and keeping it simple. And him going off, to be honest, I noticed the difference immediately. I couldn't tell who was missing, but I was like, somebody that touches the ball far too much is not on the pitch right now. And him trying to like make from deep, that's just not his game. The success that we had with Bruno from when he first came was he was high up. He was almost like a second striker for real. And he's not doing that at the moment, so he's being wholly ineffective and touching the ball way too much.
And he's not for me. Bruno is not dynamic enough at times. Like, he's not gonna get a ball and turn and dribble at a defense, and the defense is scared. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we need that in a game. Like, in a lot of games, we need that. Like, that's why I love Martial and I love Rashford. And when he's on form, Sancho and hopefully Anthony is like, dynamism is such a wonderful tool to have in a team because it causes havoc in a defensive line. It causes havoc in the midfield. And Bruno, for his quick thinking when it comes to like quick balls and through balls and trying to like do something quick, he's very good at that. But when you need something a bit more controlled, maybe a bit more frightening, which is dribbling, he doesn't provide that.
Well, Man United don't have ball carriers in midfield. And this is why I don't get angry at Bruno, because that was not his game. And for that 3 to 4 year period, including at Sporting at United, when he was scoring, I mean, you got to remember, he is the highest goal scoring midfielder in a single season in the history of English football. Like, but he was being played in an attacking midfield role, and that was his job, to be part of that final part of the attack, to score and assist. Right. And I know it's early days, and I'm not writing him off yet in this system under Ten Hag, but that isn't where he's at his strongest. And people often, and that's why I don't get angry. It's like, that's not his role for me. When Rashford gets put on the right and people moan, I'm like, there have been a handful of players in the last 25 years of football who have started as an inside forward that have been able to move from left to right and or centrally and be just as good. Ronaldo could do it. He started right, went left, went central. He did it. Messi, of course, can do it. Gareth Bale was pretty good at doing it. But even when you think about Frank Ribery and Ian Robben, that most people would say were world class, one had to be on the left and the other one had to be on the right. If you put Robben for like 6 games, 10 games, 20 games running on the opposite side, he was good, but not as good. So you've got to stick. Most players need to be in their best position. And once their best position is either obsolete within, you've only got to look at Trent this year, because they're being attacked more, because there isn't the energy in midfield. to cover his position, he's having to defend more and he's being exposed. He isn't any worse at defending than he was 2 years ago, but Liverpool have changed. Man United have now changed. And I'm looking at Bruno, and Bruno's a player I've loved. But as I said to everybody many times before, my love for Bruno does not outweigh my love for Man United. And if it isn't working with him, you move him on.
And the other question is, how many stinkers can Sancho keep putting up as well? He's getting to that territory. And again, like similar to like what you're saying, Terry, my love for Sancho is, but you couldn't write it down. But the amount of stinkers he's had, bro, he might have to come and sit down.
You know what's frustrating as well? People was like, as soon as we bought Anthony, it's like, yep, that's it. Rashford's gone. Sancho on the left, like that's it. Like we're cooking, and I'm there just like, just hold on for 2 seconds because we haven't seen it yet. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Have we really and truly seen the best of Sancho on the left-hand side for Manchester United?
Bro,
if you say yes, then you're lying to yourself. We haven't seen the best of Sancho on the position where I feel like he'll be better for us on the right either, because we have not seen the best of Sancho at all. And that's the frustrating thing about Jadon Sancho, because I love that guy. I love the kind of player that he is. But where is the dynamism we saw at Dortmund? Where is the excitement and electricity that he brought to a pitch in the Champions League? Like, this is, again, Terry says it, it's about his mentality. Does he think that he's made it to the big time now? Because you haven't.
He's playing like Van der Beek right now, wholly anonymous and just passing the ball and shirking responsibility. He's same thing to me.
So, it's so true. And I just wanted to say, like, a lot of people, if Bruno ends up getting phased out, will say, see, I told you he's always rubbish. No, the systems change, the teams change, and he don't suit it. You move him on. These same people all said, trust me, with a better manager, Sancho will cook. But my biggest bugbear with Sancho is, before the international break, I was really impressed. And it's games like today make no sense. Games like today are what infuriate me, because you're not better. Yes, okay, you're much better than the level that our opponents tonight play at. But you don't have the right, as a player that's never won a league title, never won a Champions League, you've won one major trophy in your career. You don't have the right. No one should ever be lackadaisical in those games. But I don't understand who you think you are to not track back when you give that ball away. As much as Bruno annoys me, he'll always run and work hard. Even Ronaldo tonight, he annoys me. He's past his best. But did he not work hard? You've got to work hard. You have to work hard. And when I look at Jadon Sancho, and people might not like this, I've held this back as a Man United fan, and maybe I should have been more honest. His body. I've seen him with his shirt off. I've seen him with his shirt off. And Dizzy, I've seen you with your shirt off. You look you're in better shape than him, and he's a professional athlete.
Bro, there's one thing I hate more than anything as far as professional athletes. Being out of shape, to me, is inexcusable.
So you got a sure agenda, bro.
This is why I hate Luke Shaw as well, bro. There's no reason you get paid as much as you get paid to be out of shape in game time. It don't make sense to me. I hate it so much, bro. I swear I do.
No, mate, I couldn't agree with you more. And like he was, I know people say, well, you tweeted earlier on that he's been one of the best inside forwards in the league. He was, but it's like he has those few games, and then the last two, it's almost like, well, I'm going to stop now. What do you mean you're going to stop? That, like, the benchmark you've set. So what's interesting is, this is going to be boring for some people, but it's maybe worth learning. The Americans, I know, are shocked at how hard it is to get sacked from a job in England. Employment law is so tight, unless you commit gross misconduct, on average, anywhere between 12 to 18 months to be performance managed out of a business. But there's a quick way of getting people out, and I learned this. You put them on what we call a PIP, a performance improvement plan. You set the standard, they agree to it. You set all the coaching and training they need, and they've got to deliver against it. And what most people do is they over that when they're being scrutinized and monitored daily, they start performing and they show they can do the job to the right level. If after that performance improvement plan is passed and they're signed off, if their level then drops again, you could instantly sack them under UK law because they've proven they can do the job to the right level. And that's my issue here. If somebody didn't pass their performance improvement plan, you have to put them on a second one, third one, and there were like written warnings along the way. It takes forever because it's almost like, well, they can't do it. Bless them. When you prove you can do it and you don't maintain those standards, that's a choice. Right. Sancho, for me, is underperforming by choice because when he needed to, and there's a real scrutiny, he steps up and starts to deliver, and then he fades away again. And for me, it's a choice. It's a fundamental choice he's making.
I think this is where Erik ten Hag needs to, again, like he's done with like McTominay and Malacia and Shaw and Casemiro, like show that backbone. Like today, why is he starting? Why isn't Alanga getting a shot? Why isn't Martial getting some more minutes, like just to get in minutes in the leg? Oh, Terry saw something.
Fabio Vieira hit the bar.
Oh, mad. Why isn't Martial getting more minutes just to get in fitness? You know what I mean? Like, these are the things I want to see from Ten Hag now. I would love to see him be like, right, Everton, you're not playing. And it doesn't matter who it is who plays for you.
Yeah.
I don't care because you're better than this. Like, I want to see that. Even like with Eriksen a bit and Bruno, you're playing them too much. Let them know that your position ain't safe. You're telling me Iqbal in Eriksen's position would have done us any worse than him today because he weren't good. Eriksen weren't good. You know what I mean?
Nah, he wasn't great.
Like, we have to see this and hope Ten Hag, what is showing us in the start is like he's that manager who's willing to be like, okay, cool. Now you're dropped because you're not performing to my standard.
Yeah.
Hopefully he continues that.
I'll make you right, and that needs to be exercised because, as you say, there was a lot of poor performances tonight, and I would hope as well next week, because we're at home, you can have all the big boys on the bench. I'd like to see a few of the fringe and young players start. And this is what I want to see. Give Palestri a go. Give him a go.
Where's Donny van de Beek?
He's injured.
He's injured. Which is funny. He's actually out injured. I nearly tweeted the other day, but a lot of United fans hate me at the moment anyway, so I held back. But I was like, I was going to tag a few friends of the terrace as well and say, why have you not called Ten Hag a bully yet? Or he doesn't know ball yet. I'm telling you now, even when fit, Donny ain't playing. Like Donny for me is an Ajax merchant. He's an Ajax merchant. He fits that system and style, and he's brilliant in it. Ironically, we just spoke about Bruno, but you take him away from a system and a style that is perfect for him, and there ain't much there.
Well, you say Bruno is an Ollie ball merchant. Is that what it is? Yeah.
No, I'm saying he's a secondary striker, and he's got to be like. I watched.
Whoa! DZ, I don't even remember this. There's this massive debate about what is Bruno.
Yeah.
And I'm here. I said, and many of us said, he's a second striker, shadow striker, second striker, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's him, Mr.
Yeah,
Mr. Fluis over here. Yeah, he was like, yeah, he's definitely not a second striker. He is a number 10. He is an attacking midfielder.
I get that. Do you know what it is for me? Like, I'm happy to call him whatever. What I loved about that argument was more because he was scoring so many goals as a midfielder. People just went, no, but he's actually scoring about the average amount for a striker. Let's call him a secondary striker. But I actually don't think like an attacking midfielder that sits in that hole, a secondary striker or a number 10.
Different.
It's all about the type of player you are. David Silva wasn't a goal scorer, so he was a number 10. Bruno was a goal scorer more than he's a creator. So you could call it a 10, you can call him an attacking midfielder, you can call him a secondary striker. I don't give a fuck. Like, it doesn't really bother me. But more the way people were trying to dismantle how many goals he scored because it was so good. But equally, you've got to play people in their best positions. Rashford, when we're up against a higher line or we start on that left, he can play any position, central, well, no, it's a lie, central or left against a high line, and he can play on that left brilliantly. There is two positions. Is Rashford ever going to be of a Bow level, of a Ronaldo level, of a Neymar level? No, he is what he is, and he's an important part of our team. And even this year, I was just looking at the stats, highest goal contributor this season in the Man United squad, 8 from 8. Keep playing the way he plays. Like, if he keeps on at this rate, he's going to have a very, very good season for us. But what we now need is the others to step up and start scoring. And if we had 3 or 4 other players, and by the way, Martial, 3 appearances, 4 goal contributions. So he's doing it too. If we had 2 or 3 more of our front men performing at that level in terms of output, we'll be okay. As in, we might be able to muster a top 4 run. We could have a good run in the cup competitions, and we progress to be in a position to attract people next year. Ronaldo's got to start scoring more and assisting. We need Bruno to step that up as well. And Anthony just needs to be a bit more clinical. That weird cutback he made, I don't know.
Oh, that was upsetting.
And Josh here as well for the game. We didn't really get onto it, but like Garnacho, give some of these kids a go in the next game against these guys. Give them a chance. Give them an opportunity. And say, there you go. Show me what you're about. That's what I'd like to see.
Before you close off, Terry.
Yeah.
I actually thought, talking about Bale, he's talking about Bale, and I thought we was going to see a recreation of Bale's goal against Barca when Rashford
yeah, that
knocked
shit looked
it
good.
past the guy.
Yeah, he
I was like,
killed him.
it's happening again. Yes. And then he stopped. I was like, damn it. Like, I
Well,
wanted to see that.
It's funny what confidence starts to do because Rashford's looking fast again. People were saying he's lost
He's
his
looking
speed.
quick.
But it's mate, to tell people, it's a lot of it's in your head, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's one of them ones. I'm telling it to you young lads out there. When you're lucky enough to have a beautiful consensual lady with you, and she's like, give me some sexual healing. If you start overthinking it, trust me, you'll panic. Trust me, it'll go very wrong for you. Do you know what I mean? You want to relax and take your time. And Dizzy laughs because he knows it's true. And Rashford, he was doing what I'm seeing from Ronaldo last year. He was all taut. He's trying so hard. I remember who was that sprinter? There was a female American sprinter. She's retired.
Sha'Carri Richardson. Are you talking about her?
Maybe not. Maybe before that. I can't remember her name. She was brilliant. She was winning everything, and then she started to struggle. And I remember watching her in a 100-meter final. It was either the Worlds or the Olympics. And someone's going to remember her name there. And if I was I would say this is 15, 20 years ago now. And she was running. And Michael Johnson, who for me, is it Michael Johnson, the 400-meter world record holder? Is that Michael Johnson? He was talking. He's the best commentator in athletics, and he was explaining the way her form was off. And he said that form's off because she's trying too hard to win. And as soon as she tried too hard and wasn't relaxed, fell apart. And that's how I look at the way Rashford was playing last year. He was trying too hard, over trying, calm down. And as he starts scoring more now, he'll start to relax. And if Rashford becomes relaxed, he'll become one of our most potent players. Flojo. Who's Flojo?
Oh, that's her nickname. It's Florence
Griffiths Joyner.
That's
it might have been her. I've got a. Let me. If I see her, like one of them women where if you see their face, I would. And you're probably I swear you're probably talking someone that was like top class in like the 90s. Let me see her face. No, not her. After her, it would have been after her. Top American.
There's one. Someone said Alison Felix.
Might be her. And it's mad because it's not her. I remember it was a commentary. I remember. Let me see if I can get some women's. I need women's. I typed it in and it showed me the men's. Gatlin comes up. Cheat. He's a cheat. Oh my! No, it's not her. But that's a nice picture. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
That's it. It's not my fault. Like that.
It ain't my fault. It's not my fault. Hang on a sec. I'm gonna put like 19. I'm gonna put like 2. This was years ago. I need to know now. When you're at that point. There she is. I've seen a picture of her. I've seen a picture of her from the Olympics in Sydney. That's how long ago it was. Where's she at? Oh, God.
The only film was
onto a YouTube video now by accident. Hang on. Here she is. Another picture. Marion Jones. Marion Jones.
People were saying it, but I thought it was saying Marlon.
No, Marion Jones. Yeah, Marion Jones. And she was like, she was brilliant. And then she just started to fall off. And I remember them breaking it down. It was like she got to a point and then she was trying so hard to stay there. She was over trying. And I remember like Johnson going through her form and going the way her like leg was coming round. And it was when people run really hard and you see them trying hard, like when people are running in normal life, he was explaining it at like an elite level. And that's what I've seen from Rashford. I'm seeing it from Ronaldo right now. They're taut, they're too stiff. They need to relax a little bit more and chill with the still a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But there we go. But yeah, Marion Jones. I liked Marion Jones growing up. I liked
the only female sprinter I care about is my lovely Shelley Ann Fraser Price.
See, for me, it's all about I forgot her name now. The English girl.
Dina.
Yeah, there we go, Dina.
Right. Both beautiful.
Back my own. But she's 46 now, Marion Jones. But I want to check she won stuff. I swear she won things. Yeah, she won in Athens. She won 100 meters in Athens, 4x100. She won the World Championship in Sevilla. She won all that. What did she do at the Olympics? But then in the Olympics, that was it. In the Olympics, you got like disqualified. She overrunning like 3 years earlier, best in the world. You fought, and then she never run at any other major tournaments again. It was like mentality just gone, and then injuries, everything. And I remember Michael Johnson saying, even the injuries will stem from overtrying because you're going to run in bad form. Yeah. Oh, she lost the medal because of cheating as well. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize. No, she went in prison and all. She got criminal sentences. She went in prison and all sorts.
Yeah, when she fell hard.
Fell off bad, boy.
So the message here is relax when you're doing things, people.
Don't do drugs. And don't do drugs as well.
And
To
don't
come
do
in.
Yeah,
drugs,
but
facts.
I remember the form. There we go. Where's she from? Oh, she's from Los Angeles. No wonder. But listen, anyway, people, smash that like button for us. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. We're back after the Arsenal game. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless you.